Welcome to another video, and welcome to part 3 of my little additive synth project. After declaring it was finished, of course that was the perfectly wrong thing to say. I have in fact added a few little bits to it, and I've tweaked a few settings. So you can now save patches. So the little board actually has half a K of E squared prom, which is, it means it doesn't go away when you turn the power off. So you can actually save the patches, which is great because it can take you a little while to sort of dial the right one in. I've also changed a minor detail, and that was how, what happened basically to the envelopes when you pressed when a new gate happened. So instead of going straight back to 0, like starting a complete note again, it just continues on from the previous note. It's sort of, it's like a legato style. So I think that sounds a lot nicer. And there's a few little internal changes just to make it work a bit better. So anyway, just a very quick showing. I've also, I've still got the same rig as you saw last time. So obviously no control, feeding CV and gate analog into the little toy. It's going off screen to a Behringer Crave, which is purely and simply just filtering the PWM, just because I couldn't be bothered putting a filter on that board. That then comes out into the oscilloscope so you can see it, out to the Korg NTS1, just for a few effects, because I reckon it sounds a lot nicer with effects. I mean, yes, wet versus dry, and any synthesizer sounds good with enough reverb. And then out to cheap little USB speakers. You're hearing exactly what I hear. You can just about see it down here. There's a nice microphone, so trying to get at least the sound. It's a little bit louder than it was previously. I've now plugged it into the proper output, the line out, rather than the headphones. Anyway, let's keep going. So I've just turned the thing on. You default to a sine wave and not quantized. So this is just what happens when you first start off. It's easier to create patches from a single sine wave. You don't have to deactivate a whole heap of stuff. Anyway, so different to last time where I had pre-loaded patches, I've now gone through and I've actually saved 6 patches, and I'll just take you through those. But yeah, the main difference now is long pressing on the white button. So the white button is a preset. So normally what would happen is if you short press the white and then long press one of the values, one of the oscillator buttons, it would quantize. So if I press, short press, so that's not quantized, so it doesn't sound 100%. I can do short press, long press, and it's pretty much now, it's quantized, it's perfectly in tune. But if you long press the white button and then press one of the presets, that will save whatever's currently in there into that slot. And if you long press, it will automatically go back to that sine wave. So it's like the starting setup to make it much easier to do things. So just show you, hopefully it's a bit louder. And you've heard it wet, you've heard it dry, but I'm just going to turn it on. Oops, not that button. This is sort of like the ultimate sound. So I've chosen, at the moment you can choose the octave. Obviously you can change all of the buttons to choose it, but just for fun. So you can see it's an ever so slightly rounded sawtooth wave, and that's sort of how you get your trumpety French horn type sound. So yeah, a little bit of hall reverb. Okay, second, and again I'll quantize it. This is my flute with a delayed vibrato. Yeah, I haven't really tuned the vibrato in as well as I could. So Now just check one though. See how that note's moving around? The quantizing, it just meant that the quantizing was right between two notes. So I don't know if you can hear the delayed vibrato, so if you just press here, so that's the fluty type sound. The third one is the reed instrument, like a clarinet. And again, if you have a look at the oscilloscope, you can see that it's just a slightly rounded square wave. And that's how you go from a video game square wave sound to a more reed instrument sound. Okay, the fourth one, this is an interesting one. I sort of had a little look at how Hammond organs worked and what the drawbars were. So I sort of basically made an organy sounding. And I run out of notes now. I know, actually I probably could have done it. But yeah, I'll turn off just so you can hear it dry. So that's the dry sound. Again, the reverb always makes things sound nicer. So it can make a tiny little $20 synthesizer, homemade, sound much better. And if you really want that one, you can go a bit of quantizing. So okay, I'll put that one. All right, so that's preset number 4. Preset number 5. Well, when I say preset, saved patch number 5. This is using another one of the newish features. So this has got a repeating envelope. So think about sort of like tremolo. So I can repeatedly bring in and out one of the harmonics. It gives a sort of a warbling sound. So if you have a listen. Hear how it's sort of got that wah 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 type sound? And if you have a look at the oscilloscope, you'll see that the second green line going up and down. I think there's actually quite a nice sound, this one. Yeah, so that's the sort of metallic bell chime using the repeating envelope. And the last one is the plucky string. And again, if you look carefully, I'll see if I can stop it just at the right time. So it starts off pretty much, well, that's a little bit filtered, but it starts off as a sawtooth, and after not too long, you can see that's not a sine wave, it's sort of a slightly lopsided sine wave, but you can see that it very quickly, the filter effect, because basically we're dropping off the high frequency earlier than the low frequencies, gives that filter effect that's sort of like a filter sweep from sawtooth back to sine. So, which is pretty classical sort of string, a plucked string sort of sound, be it a guitar, be it a violin. I mean, I haven't dialed all the extra bits in, but yeah. Yeah, so that's about it. So this is the, I reckon I can, for the second time, declare it finished, because short of any bugs that I find, I've run out of space. So this is about as much as this little thing can do, which, yeah, I reckon it's actually done pretty well. The only other thing I would have liked is to make the sound ever so slightly nicer by interpolating at slower speeds. Just didn't have enough space in the Flash to add that small amount of code, but I think it still sounds quite nice. See, turn the no cheating. Same, you can do the chime. Again, hold it down for quantizing. So that's with no reverb or anything. All right, hopefully short and sweet. But yeah, this is the little thing. For those asking, I'm going to see if, as I say, I'm cleaning up the code and making it a bit more presentable, and putting lots of comments in so people can change their own stuff. And I might see if I can put it up on the GitHub for those who want to try. This is actually, just in case people want to know, I think this is a DigiStump standard 16.5 megahertz. So I just bought that from JCar in Australia. I don't know what the equivalent is overseas, but it was dirt cheap. And then yeah, I built up it's very, very simple board. It's really just wiring up all the resistor chain. So the buttons are a resistor chain because you've only got 6 inputs, so you can't obviously have 12 inputs. So you press a button and it actually just puts a different voltage onto one pin. That's why all of these you can actually tune the voltage divider. That's about it. Okay, so if there are any more questions, if you want to see how to do something, I'm really actually quite enjoying the old additive synthesis. It is a little bit more hands-on. You don't get anything really for free. You choose every harmonic, you choose what happens with the harmonics. But yeah, as I say, sounds like the chime, again with a nice whole reverb. I think that sounds really nice. And I'll see if I can do this as well. So you can see at the beginning with the harmonics, you got the high harmonic, the bass, the fundamental, and then there's the warbling one that gives it that sort of tremolo effect. But you can see it starts off almost like a triangle wave, and obviously very quickly goes to a sine wave, and then you get that wobbling effect from the other fundamental. So I'll leave it there, but yeah, this is pretty much, I consider it a usable synthesizer now. So the main thing is you can now store your patches. So all good, and we'll see you next time. Let me know in the comments if there's anything you want me to try and do on this little thing, and I'll see if I can do it. Okay, cheers. See you next time.